Dear teachers, so welcome back to our complex meeting and for the session 3 titled Competency Based Assessments. In other words, CBAs that we have been adopting and following as a part of SALT, supporting Andhra's learning transformation, right? This is a SALT project and for which we have been adopting and implementing and trying to get achieve the learning outcomes through this competency based assessment. So let us now get to know the details of the CBA patterns, types of examples, good example questions and good non-examples of framing questions. So what we'll discuss in this session are why are competence based assessments needed, design the competence based assessments, framing of good questions for good assessments, and how to adapt a CBA blueprint pattern for our upcoming CBA examinations in the academic years to be continued. Checklist for creating good questions. So these are the important snippets of the session 3. So what does the word competency based assessment means? Which is an approach to evaluate individuals' knowledge. So all students' unique abilities, innate abilities that can be tapped through this type of questions, right? Skills and abilities based on specific competencies. So we have to have learning outcomes, or other words, specific competencies. To address them, we have to have good types of assessments and good types of questions. So identifying the concepts from National Curriculum Framework 2023, developing the learning outcomes based on the NCF document, and designing the assessments appropriately as per the competencies and learning outcomes set by the NCF committee. So how to make our students assessments independent, fair and non-biased, reliable and assessment. So for more information, we can have this NCRT link. As you all can see, here is an URL which can be directly taken to the PDF of the entire concept of the assessment. So transforming the culture of assessment. So this is an extract from the NCF. What does NEP suggest? NEP says that it helps bringing greater synergy in board exams conducted by various boards of assessments across the length and breadth of our country, India. So have a cursory glance at this infographic shared by our SCRT personnel, educational initiatives and SALT officials. So with this, now dear teachers, so what does a good question mean? A good question can test core concepts, test conceptual understanding, and it can stimulate thinking, as well as it can identify common misconceptions and errors to remediate. So a good question has to have these futuristic characteristics of the framing of assessment or type of testing questions. So now let us look at a good question test core concept. So for every character, we will have one example and non-example. So now let us look at the learning outcome here. Students will understand the causes and effects of the Indian independence movement. So this is the learning outcome. అభ్యసన ఫలితం అనేది గ్రేడ్ 8 సోషల్ సబ్జెక్ట్లో ఈ లెర్నింగ్ అవుట్కమ్ అనేది ఉంది. ఇండియన్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ యొక్క మూమెంట్, సో భారతదేశ స్వాతంత్రం యొక్క ఉద్యమము, కాజెస్ అండ్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ అని తీసుకున్నాం. దీని తర్వాత క్వశ్చన్ ఎలా ఉండాలి, ఎలా ఉండకూడదు, ఎలా ఉండాలి అనేది మనం ఇక్కడ డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇన్ విచ్ ఇయర్ వాజ్ ద ఇండియన్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ యాక్ట్ పాస్డ్? సో ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ mechanical memory based questions that remembering the year, right? But here how the same question is framed in this competence based assessment. What was the primary cause of the Indian independence movement? So the right answer here, see the analysis, application and applying of the concept or the element of learning that has been captured in this assessment. Revolts against British taxation policies. So this is the primary cause of the Indian independence movement. Now here is testing the core concepts here. While inventing the light bulb, Thomas Edison had failed how many times? 1000 times, 10,000 times, 1000 plus times, 10,000 times. So here from this paragraph we can see 1000 plus times here. Thomas Edison is a model for grit for trying 1000 plus times too. So it is easily liftable and can be easily extracted from the given passage. But the same question, if it test core concept, this how the question is framed here, which two qualities of Edison does the author talk about in this paragraph? So when you read this paragraph, we can see that the entire essence of the and the entire qualities of the scientific personality here, Thomas Alva Edison, right? So here, determination and hope, eagerness and intelligence, thankfulness and liveliness, self-discipline and energy. So here we can see here essential parts of living a successful person. So here perseverance. From the entire thing we can deduce that eagerness and intelligence here can be two qualities, right? To become as a good scientist or to have scientific temper among ourselves, we have to have the many more important qualities, but so two of them here: eagerness and intelligence, determination and hope, self-discipline, energy. So these are good distractors, but which choice is applicable, we need to decide here, right? So now let us go to the, this is non-example and example. Now a good question testing the conceptual understanding. So define a peninsula, right? So this is social related one. Then the gravitational pull on the moon is dash of that earth. You are standing on the moon holding a pen and you let it go. What will happen to the pen? So testing the conceptual understanding, and here what is the perimeter of this rectangle and which of these shapes have a perimeter. So such kind of good questions can stimulate thinking and can test the core conceptual thing. Which of the following modes of transport is likely to be the oldest? So here A, B, C, D. So dear teachers and students, which is the right answer? Now look at the how the students responded to this particular question. So 8 through bus vehicle 8%, then horse riding 40%, bullock cart is 45%, flight is 80%. So here in this way we can trigger, and the right answer is 40%. Sorry, B is the right answer. Now what is the chemical formula of pure steam? Such kind of examples and students' responses and correct answer. You can look at this. Now a good question stimulating thinking. Then what is the length of the pencil for grade 4 students for mathematics subject, and identifying the misconceptions. Here we have a video, then followed by CBA patterns in Andhra Pradesh and the objectives and the blueprint creation here, languages and non-languages, these areas, knowledge, understanding, application, KUA. Please remember this pattern, and number of questions, free responses, and total marks allotted for subjects under these elements of testing: knowledge, understanding, application. So let us now move on to the next slide. Here, cognitive skills, examples for languages. Here you can look at it and deduce the meaning, and then for non-languages, these are the knowledge, understanding, application, and corresponding examples. Then cognitive skills for mathematics, knowledge, understanding, application. Examples are given here. Please do explain in your subject sessions. So then make the question clear and focused. Grade 1 mathematics example, clear words. Grade 8 mathematics example, learning outcome and relevant responses. Grade 6 mathematics, make options similar and parallel to avoid confusion. So these are the different set of rubrics for creating good questions. So keep options all consistent. Let us look at the example. Which of the feelings closely resembles annoyance? కోపానికి దగ్గరగా వచ్చిందంటే ఇక్కడ యాంగర్ ఈజ్ ద రైట్ ఆన్సర్. బట్ ఇట్స్ నాన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ కరేజ్, డిసిప్లిన్, అగ్రిమెంట్ నాట్ గుడ్ ఆప్షన్స్. సో దే ఆర్ నాట్ consistent options. So here worry, courage, good way of framing the question and along with the good options, which because ensuring all choices match in grammar and meaning, because our learning outcome is students will engage in conversations using consistent grammar and appropriate vocabulary. So this is the learning outcome, and accordingly we frame the questions. Avoid all of the above and none of the above in good MCQ pattern, and test the main ideas and lasting skills that needed. So one should not forget the skills that they have acquired in this CBA pattern. So include incorrect options that reveal common misconceptions and errors. Here we have the examples, and Telugu language example, grade 7 social science example, non-examples and good example. Checklist for creating good questions. Once again we repeat what we discussed. Why are competency based assessment needed? Design of competency based assessment, framing of good questions for good assessments, and adopting the CBA blueprint. So wish you all happy learning and keep learning. Do take care. Please do share with your friends. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.